This is the Poetry Balls podcast with Tola and Filippo.
How
Ah,
are you? How are you?
buongiorno.
How are you? Buonasera. Buonasera.
Buongiorno. Ah,
Buonasera.
arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Insomma,
Arrivederci. Busy day as usual during the weekend. But everything is fine. Everything is fine.
good.
I like to be busy.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. No time for bed, but sometimes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Oh, I'm good.
Have
I'm
you
good.
settled your moving company or not yet?
Oh, I mean, I don't think I have the the willpower to do anything that difficult.
Oh, for sure you don't have the strength to do it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that goes without saying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think we can figure
You're
out.
not tall enough.
Yeah, I'm rather dwarfish.
How
So
was your weekend?
yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay. Very
It's okay, right?
yeah. I mean, it's London, so the weather's
So
good.
London, it means you met many enemies, right?
Ah, what do you mean?
It's full of enemies in London.
Ah, why do you say that?
People you don't know, the crowd.
Yeah, I mean that's the general standard.
It's always a suffering.
The good thing is that I don't take the underground. I haven't taken the underground since March.
Oh,
So
really? So
yeah,
you
yes,
avoid, yeah.
exactly.
But bus?
I take the
No.
bus, but it's not crowded.
Ah.
Um, on
So the
overground
people
train.
they fear the bus, they fear the underground the most, but they take the bus.
Well,
Oh,
I
it's
don't think I
sorry,
don't
the opposite. The opposite.
I don't know what people do. I know that I don't take the underground because it's not where I want to be right now. And
Hmm.
I don't know if you've been following it, but we're going to have a national lockdown from
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah.
Yeah,
The show must go on, man. Come on.
I know.
The show must go on. So
I think
yeah,
it will.
yeah, the same. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Of
it's
course, of course.
I think they've gone around in circles so many times and they've tried to implement so many rules that make no sense that people are just gonna do what they're gonna do. You know, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, um, good
It's
luck to.
funny because in Italy they are asking the companies to invest in some products for sanification or cleaning properly or buying some stuff in order to prevent. And
Mm,
then the solution, what it is, closing. So it's a double loss for the company, basically.
yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
the companies, because okay, we are investing in order to stay open,
Open. Mm.
and then it's not enough, and it's a double loss.
No, it's true. I mean, that's the strategy as far as I can see.
That's the strategy, yeah.
Because I think if they had implemented at least a 1 week lockdown, there was a period where the numbers went so high, and I think if they had done like a circuit break lockdown, so maybe like for like a week, total lockdown, then at least when you come back the week after, the numbers are lower, businesses can open, and at least
Yeah.
you're balancing things sensibly. But this jackass Boris Johnson has been like, oh, we're not gonna we're not gonna do a national lockdown. He's been saying that since September, I think, and now we're doing a national lockdown. because
Yeah.
it was inevitable, but he doesn't want to face that reality.
Yeah, I saw people celebrating the night before the lockdown in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Everyone on the streets to celebrate. Then before the lockdown, So,
Yeah. Very, very weird,
uh,
state of affairs.
but
And
now I
also,
think the consequences of this new lockdown will be very important. I mean,
so,
globally, the GDP of China is the only one growing. We don't know why. And
well, I mean, China is China. I mean, they're a communist society, so they've been able to shut down and quarantine people by force. So, I mean, I don't agree with their approach, but it's been effective, and now
yeah, I
they're back
remember
to
that they brought the grocery to every people house in
okay.
order to keep them home.
Yeah,
That
I
was
mean,
the strategy. And
yeah,
if you go out, there is the army shooting at you. So
yeah.
it's very effective.
It's very exactly. It's almost like there's no way to run, really.
Yeah. There is
But I
no way
suppose
to cheat the system. Yeah.
even so, I mean, they've had an effective track and trace system. Theirs works, unlike ours. Um, I guess the communist approach to impinging on people's freedoms. I mean, I'm not down with that, but
Yeah.
it's been effective. I mean, what can we say?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, China is doing well. I think New Zealand. I think
Oh, yeah.
they were the lead rational.
Sweden also, because they have not a high population.
Yeah, I don't understand
Because
Sweden.
it's all about numbers. If there are many million people, it's normal that the hospitals and the system will be impacted if there
Yeah,
are a million people.
yeah.
It's a scale.
I suppose, but I mean, COVID doesn't really give a shit about how many you are.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just wants to infect you. So I'm not sure I understand what happened in Sweden. I don't know how well or bad they're doing, to be honest. But I know they're not really implementing anything major.
Yeah. They keep living the same way as
Exactly.
before. So,
It's
and they have the same numbers of our countries.
yeah,
It
exactly,
seems
exactly.
so.
Yeah. What about Italy?
Oh,
What's happening in Italy?
Italy is always the same circus. So you enjoy every day here. Yeah.
No, I mean with the COVID,
If
because
you follow
I
the
heard the
yeah.
numbers
If you
are going.
follow the news, you enjoy every day because the politicians are fighting, throwing shit at each other,
Mm,
stuff like this. Then there is a press conference one day, and the day after there is another conference from the prime minister saying the opposite. Oh,
mm,
it's a great show, man.
mm.
We don't even remember what they are saying the day before, because the day after there is a new rules to follow.
Really?
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, I thought you guys actually had it under control at one point, so I'm a little surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. Then at some point the government will fall and new election. It's always like this in Italy, so we
Yeah.
are used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I wish you guys can laugh about it. I'm just pissed off.
Yeah. No. I'm pissed off as well. Don't think the opposite.
Oh, right, no. I know you guys are pissed off, but the way you guys handle it is almost like you have like a different way of carrying
We
that.
know. It's like we know what is going on
Exactly.
here.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
foreseen, at least. Let's say.
Exactly. I mean, I think I'm a little detached.
Hmm.
I'm a little detached, but at the same time, I feel frustrated, and at the same time, I'm also laughing because similar to you guys, I know what's gonna come because I know where it's come from,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
from Brexit. If the tide has been turning in this direction, so I think
Yeah.
terrible leadership ultimately led up to what we're all dealing with now across the world. So it's
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, it's a global.
partly irritated, partly like, oh, I don't care, I just want to just mind my own business,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So yeah, I think it was the 20th of October actually that this tragedy happened in Nigeria. I think you know about it, right? What the
I didn't follow, man. Even the what is going on with the COVID lately, I'm not following lately. Just
no, but
uh,
you're aware of you're aware of the news, not the details.
yeah, aware, yes, aware, yes. Some
Exactly.
protests, I think.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't need to know much more than that, to be honest.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so much news coming out anyway that it's impossible to keep up with all of it. Uh,
yeah,
but anyway, on the 20th of October, we had this I'll call it massacre. It was a bit of a massacre in Lagos, Nigeria. That's where I'm from. And yeah, it was haunting because for me, I knew I almost like what we were just saying earlier that it was like you could see it coming. Right. I've always been concerned about protests occurring in Nigeria. I don't see a lot of it. We rarely see protests in Nigeria. And I think probably the reason for that is because we know what that's going to lead to. Right. The
yeah,
society, yeah, we know the society has gone to the point where those in power will do anything to hold on to power and they'll stifle any sort of uprising. Right. So, um, although it was uh, anticipated. I mean, it doesn't. Nonetheless, it's still very devastating and haunting. That a society would or a government would actually take out its people like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So prayers for all those who were impacted by that, and hopefully that blood was not spilled in vain. Because I think for me that's the important thing. I think bad things can happen, but if we can't derive good from that outcome, then it's almost as if it was all for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
At the moment, it seems hard to, seems hard to do
yes,
it. But
yes,
yeah, yeah. It's important to have faith on that. But even if you don't see it fixable in the short term, because
mm,
there is a lot of corruption, a lot of criminals
hmm,
ruling.
yeah, yeah,
So it's really hard to fight against that power because
it
they
is.
have the power actually.
Yeah, and I think it's concentrated across not just in Nigeria, but I think they have enablers in the West, in the East, governments basically propping up each other, and because America has almost kind of vacated the seat of of leadership. Um, yeah, that's putting it mildly. Yeah, all these jackasses across the world, they feel more bold. They feel like they can do what they want to do. It's crazy. It's crazy. Speaking of the U.S., actually, they're about to
Oh,
elect.
we are getting close.
They're getting
We
closer.
are
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
close.
I think
Yeah,
it's 2 days. That's crazy.
it's time.
I mean, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen? Or do you care?
Ah, I don't know. Like 4 years ago, they are saying that Florida is. They don't know what is going on in Florida in terms of votes.
Mm.
So it could be relevant for the final. For the final
Outcome.
stage of
Right,
the
right,
outcome. Yeah.
right. But do you think Trump will win again?
Oh, after if Trump wins again, I can see Berlusconi coming back in Italy, and the world is fixed.
Absolutely.
We only need the return of Berlusconi, and we are all fine. Yeah.
Berlusconi. Oh my God.
Yeah.
For the longest time,
We need more bunga bunga in the world.
I don't think we need more
So.
bonga bonga, to be honest. We have Trump. That's more bonga bonga than we ever need. Well, it was funny because
Boris, Berlusconi, and Trump, we are
oh my
fine, I think.
yeah, we're in good hands.
Yeah.
I think COVID would just stay. Like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick around.
Yeah, for years. There is no vax,
Oh my god. Yeah.
There won't be any vax.
No, don't have any vaccine. And if there is, it won't work. Yes. Oh,
Absolutely.
it's crazy. Berlusconi. Yeah, I remember like growing up, you care about Berlusconi and like, what the hell is going on in Italy? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on? This guy, like, really? How is it even possible?
Yeah, doing parties like luxury party with prostitutes. It's incredible. I know it's private life, but you are a ruler.
Yeah,
It's a bit different.
yeah.
You are a human beings, and it's fine. But when everybody knows what you are doing is not the right,
Yeah.
the right way,
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's hope for the best. Whatever that.
Yeah. Which is not what I said.
Yeah, I think anything but Trump. I would say at this point because I mean we've already endured 4 years of this guy. I don't know how we did it. I think we all aged badly. you know, uh,
Yeah.
4 more years. Oh, I don't know. And for me, I don't think he's going to win legitimately. If he does win, I think there's going to be some gerrymandering by the Republicans. I think if he does win, it's going to be by some crooked means.
So you are under the conspiracy ground
Nah,
here.
it's not conspiracy, and that's the scary thing. It's not a conspiracy because it's conspiracy. A conspiracy would be the Republicans are rigging the elections and we don't know how, right?
Yeah.
But it's clear evidence that they're actually withdrawing the map, the election map, so that places that have fewer Republican voters can have more, and as a consequence, they reduce the number of Democratic voters. So it's almost like it's something that's well known. It's called gerrymandering, and
It's very tricky.
it's very tricky.
I don't know.
I spoke to a guy 2 days ago, I think, and he said that they are allowed to redraw the electoral map every 8 years, something like that. I don't know how true that is, but
Oh yeah.
but I know that if Trump wins, it's because the Republicans have tampered somehow
Okay. Yeah.
electoral map. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
it's interesting. I didn't know this part.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It should be more simple, in my opinion. Should
No,
be
no,
simpler. The
because
process.
in 2016, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He
Uh-huh.
won. He won by electoral college, right? So that's not which makes no sense to me personally, and I need to read more about that. But basically, I think you have each state voting, so it's almost as if fine, you've got the popular vote, Hillary Clinton, that's great, but the
Yeah.
electoral college is what decides the outcome, and Trump won.
Which is not fair, I think.
It's not. I don't
But
think it's
it
democratic.
happened only in 2016 or also before it was like that?
Ah, good question.
Because it's interesting to understand this
I don't think the
point
electoral.
because if it's like this, why I have to go to vote if it doesn't matter?
Exactly. Electoral college. Let me. I mean, as far as I know, it's always been a part of the system. I think I heard at some point that the Republicans have never really won the popular vote, at least for the last few years or last few elections, but I've won the electoral college. So that's a good question actually. It'd be nice to know that. But I know Trump won by through the electoral college.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know this part. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I listened to there's this guy called Farid Zakaria, who's like a intellectual public speaker, a public journalist in the U.S. and he kind of does like in-depth analysis on American politics and global politics, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So he's done quite a few bits on this stuff. So I know this stuff is real and impactful. That's why I'm not totally convinced that Trump isn't going to win by some sort of fluke.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Did you see Khabib winning?
Is that
I don't know if you follow UFC.
I heard about it.
Oh my God, this guy
Is it
is
the guy that retired?
incredible, and he retired, yeah, because
Yeah.
of the loss of his father.
Ah,
It was very engaging the fight this time. Just 2 rounds though, but because he's too strong, so he's way better of his opponents.
okay.
And
So
he closed his career with 29-0. Never lost a match.
really,
Yeah. It's like Floyd Mayweather of the UFC. We are talking at the same level, you know.
really.
Yeah. Same kind of fighters. Incredible. They are the best in their category.
Yeah,
For
Mayweather.
sure, of all time.
Yeah,
Mayweather, it's the best of his of the lightweight.
I'll say as a pure boxer, I think Mayweather is probably the greatest ever I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Of course, charisma and just grand scale of personality. I'll probably say Ali. Obviously, like Ali is just above and beyond.
Yeah, but I preferred one guy more than Ali,
Really?
which is I don't know if you are so involved into boxing, but if you know George Foreman.
You like Joe Foreman
Oh
above
my God,
Ali?
man.
Come on, man.
Incredible. My favorite. I know it's unusual, but
It's an unpopular opinion,
yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah,
odd, I
yeah.
suppose. Yeah.
I know he's been knocked out by Ali, but
So,
he was
like,
just
why do
he
you like?
was just been smashed all the match, Ali from Foreman back in the days. And I remember that it was the first fight they did in the African continent.
Zaria?
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure about my choice. George Foreman, absolutely, guys.
No,
Go watch it because his matches are incredible. He puts
yeah.
a lot of energy in the ring,
I like Foreman.
and
I like Foreman, but he's not Ali. Ali
he had a longer career
Ali's
also,
Ali.
man.
Sorry?
He had a longer career, very long career,
No, I mean,
Foreman.
no, the thing about it is that you can't really compare Ali to Foreman. I think there's certain
I do.
yeah, there's no basis for it. I think because Ali lost a few times, yeah. So
That's
it's
the reason.
so it's not about the perfection of his record. It's about the quality of athlete that he was, personality wise, entertainment wise, skill wise. I mean, come on. I mean, Ali was just a different breed. You know, Foreman was
Ah,
great. Foreman was great. I mean, he came back to fight at an older age, and he did very well. I mean, yeah, Foreman was great, but he's not Ali.
he's
Personally,
like the Westbrook of the NBA of the boxing. You know Russell Westbrook, right?
yes. Is that NFL?
No, NBA.
And sorry, man.
Amazing, top-notch player, really.
Right.
Yeah, he's putting up the numbers of LeBron, but is not noted by the people. But the numbers are there, are the same. So
All right.
yeah, we
So
will see.
I'm looking at a few notes on the Electoral College. Let me try to read a bit of this stuff. Maybe you can make some sense out of it. Um, so when Americans cast their ballots for the U.S. president, they are actually voting for a representative of that candidate's party, known as an elector. There are 538 electors who then vote for the president on behalf of the people in the state. I don't even know what that means. All right, so let me do that again. When Americans cast their ballot for the U.S. president, they're actually voting for a representative. What of that candidate's party known as the elector? I see. Okay, so if Trump wins a state, then a candidate for that party, a representative of the Republican Party known as the elector votes for Trump. So that's one vote cast for Trump, I think.
So it's normal like this. I don't see any mismatch.
What do you mean?
What is the trick here?
Well,
because based on what you're saying, it's 1:1. No.
Yeah, I think that's deceptive. So let's keep reading. Each state is assigned a certain number of these electoral votes. Exactly. So I think some states have more electoral
Okay. So it's not.
representatives.
They
Exactly.
should count the same. Otherwise,
Exactly. Based on the number of congressional districts they have. Plus
okay.
two,
Yeah.
plus two
So
additional.
population, basically.
Yeah.
If you have more population, you count more than Alaska, for instance.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Florida counts most than Alaska. This is my interpretation. Then
that's probably why Florida is so pivotal. Yeah. So plus two additional votes representing the state's Senate seats. So if Florida has 4, then they have 2 additional votes representing, so 6. All right. Washington, D.C. is also assigned 3 electoral votes, despite having no voting representation in Congress.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay, a majority of 270 of these votes is needed to win the. Okay, so there are 270 electoral votes that need to be cast, and if you win the majority of the 270, then you win. Ugh, what? Why? I don't get it. The process of nominating electors varies by state and by party, but it's generally done one of 2 ways. Ahead of the election, political parties either choose electors at their national conventions, okay, or they are voted by the primary central committee. Okay, that doesn't sound democratic. The electoral college nearly always operates with a winner-takes-all system, yeah, like it did last time, in which the candidate with the highest number of votes in a state claims all of that state's electoral votes. Okay. For example, in 2016, Trump beat Hillary in Florida by a margin of just 2.2%. But that means he claimed all 29. So he claimed all 29 of Florida's crucial electoral votes. Interesting. Okay. Such small margins is a handful of key swing states meant that, regardless of Clinton's national vote lead, Trump was able to clinch victory in several swing states and therefore win more electoral college votes. I see. Okay, so Florida is pivotal then. If Trump beats Biden in Florida, he's going to take 29 electoral votes. Okay. So even if he wins by 1%, he's going to take 29. That's insane.
Yeah.
All right. So Biden could face the same hurdle in November, meaning he would need to focus his attention on a handful of battle states to win the presidency. Yeah. I think that's it. I mean, it's very tactical.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
That's the trick.
That's the trick, exactly. So there's no point winning a bunch of Democratic states.
There's no point of winning on in Wyoming then.
Well, no, I suppose not.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this. So each state is assigned a certain number of electoral votes, right? So Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan have a total of 46 electoral votes. Wow. Okay, so Trump took all 46. Okay,
Oh
now
man.
I understand what happened. Okay, Florida has 29. Okay, that's what they're saying. California has the most electoral votes, 55. Okay, so I assume
55.
Hillary took 55 from California, obviously. But I think because Hillary lost some key battleground states, Pennsylvania, I assume she lost Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. So, yeah, it's very tactical. Just because you win the majority doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the electoral.
Yeah, because it depends on those numbers.
Exactly. You're going to win where it counts, basically.
Yeah, where it counts. Yeah.
Okay.
Where you can get the most, you win.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Well,
if this is the schema, that's
I,
it.
I'm not entirely sure how that's entirely democratic.
Yeah.
Um,
So I would say, based on this new thing that I understand just now, I think it's 50-50.
I-
Again,
yeah, I can't call it, to be honest.
it's a close, yeah.
I can't call it. I really can't call it. A lot of the pundits are talking about the fact that Biden's ahead in the key battleground states. We'll see. We'll see. That'd be nice.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
are not complaining, yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah,
But yeah, to be realistic, it's 50-50 or 49 Trump, 51 Biden, I would
exactly.
say.
Yeah, I'd
This
say
is
that.
my prediction.
Yeah, it's
It's a
more
close call.
it's
Yeah.
more even that we even realize.
Mm,
So
yeah.
what's going on here? Okay, should we read the poem?
Yeah, it's time. Yeah.
All right, one sec.
What's the
Oh,
name? Who's the poet?
okay, so this poem is called
Give me some chills, man,
Some
please.
Chills. No,
Yeah.
I read this poem once and I love it.
Wow.
It's one of the few poems I've read. I'll say contemporary poems I've read that actually like I don't just want to say resonates. I think just makes so much sense, but also very intelligent and also very readable, which is what I like because
Hmm.
poems aren't that easy to engage with, as we have already established. This one is called "This Morning I Pray for My Enemies," which I love. I love that. I love that title.
Yeah, keep your enemies close.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah, pray
By
for them.
Joy Harjo. So Joy Harjo,
Still alive, I see.
she's still alive.
Oh,
She's
is a girl
yeah,
or
it's a
a
lady.
guy? Oh,
Yes,
it's a lady.
yeah. Born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Harjo is a member of the Vocoke Creek Nation. Okay, so she's a Native American.
Hmm.
Interesting. Which is I think
Good.
that's yeah. I think it's
Interesting point of view since the title. So yeah,
exactly. So
let's.
let's get into it.
Yeah.
So this morning I pray for my enemies by Joy Harjo. And whom do I call my enemy? An enemy must be worthy of engagement. I turn in the direction of the sun and keep walking. It's the heart that asks the question, not my furious mind. The heart is the smaller cousin of the sun. It sees and knows everything. It hears the nation even as it hears the blessing. The door to the mind should only open from the heart. An enemy who gets in risks the danger of becoming a friend. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. I
What
like
do,
it. I like
you
it.
what do you think?
I need to investigate more about the meaning, reading a couple times more. But
What's
yeah,
what's
impressive. Impressive.
what's your initial reaction? Or what's your initial interpretation of it?
No, just my mind goes to movies, situations at work, because workplace is full of enemies. The world is full of enemies.
Yes.
Yeah, how to cope with it, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's good to keep the enemy close. Then, but I'm not as good as this girl, you know, praying for the enemies. No, no.
Mm.
But there are some elements that they are very interesting. Like they must be worthy of engagement,
Oh,
which
that's
is completely true, because you need to know your enemy in order to understand if it's an enemy or not. And
yeah.
then, of course, the term enemy
Which is an interesting point actually, because not every threat is worth your engagement,
yeah, correct. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So some people might be troublesome, some people might be annoying, but you can. That's why a lot of the time, a lot of the times it's like just ignore the irritation. Like at work,
Yeah.
someone is kind of like your face. No, just ignore them. That sort of thing. Some enemies, however, are worth of engagement. Like, what's a good example? You know, someone who threatens your
Trump, man, for you need to meet in a restaurant and
stab him
have
with
a lunch with him
yeah.
to understand better if it's an enemy or not.
No, but that's an interesting point. You know, that's an interesting point because I mean, I always go to Trump because he's the axis of evil right now.
It's the goat, or evil goat.
He's the evil
Yeah.
goat right now. But it on a more, let's say,
Daily point of view, in the
exact
daily life. Yeah.
who's an enemy worth engaging with? I mean, apart from those, I
No,
mean,
because I don't consider anyone enemy in my life. I just ignore the people I have to ignore. Even at work, if they are fucking bitch with me,
mhm.
I just go on ignoring. I don't have the time for them to fight with them. You know,
Is it
don't
because they're
give a
not worth?
shit.
Yeah, but is it because they're not worth engaging, or
They are not worth engaging, and they are not worth fixing the problem with them.
mm,
Generally, I just don't care. You know.
mm,
I
mm,
fight with the people I care. I can fight with you for something, and you should be happy for that if
mm.
we fight. But unfortunately, we don't fight because we are not living close, and we don't speak. We don't see each other every day. Otherwise, I'm expecting to fight sometimes. Why not?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But fighting it or arguing, which is more realistic, it means just that you care about that person, and also that you care that he understands at fully what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the nature of reality. You can't not
Yeah,
have conflict. That's always inevitable. Isn't built
yeah,
into
yeah.
some sort
Anger
of
is
reality. Yeah.
the engine of the world since the beginning of this world. So
Yeah, yeah. So who's the enemy then, or is it the definition of enemy that gradually shifts?
politicians, all the politicians are real enemies. People that steal from your pockets at the end of the month
Mm,
for things called taxes, which are able only to keep them alive and give them a salary, because they are doing nothing with those taxes for you, you know.
mm, mm. Um, does it have to be because we talk about politicians, right? But the,
System also could be an enemy, you know. It doesn't have to
exactly.
be
Yeah. It's not a person.
you got it right.
It's
Yeah,
not a
it
person.
shouldn't be a person
It's almost like
necessarily.
like a spiritual force. Even though I mean like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
system,
yeah, 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 absolutely.
yeah, of just that thing that kind of
Political system, it's a system, it's not a person.
exactly. A force that you're striving against, exactly. And
The
opposing.
culture of a country could be negative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So many unpersonal things.
Yeah, false ideologies, right? Like racism. Um,
Correct. Yeah.
you can say
It's
communism.
an enemy. Yeah.
Anything that, yeah, these are enemies, like I said, and they can inhabit.
The most dangerous, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean these ideologies can inhabit people. I mean ideas kind of inhabit people. It's not really the other way around. So like you said, it's not really about, oh, that person's my enemy. It's like, oh, well, that person can be my enemy today and can be my friend tomorrow. you know if,
Yeah. Yeah.
if we're able to iron out our differences. But the real enemy or the real battle is being fought in the spiritual world, in the sense that it's very much, I stand for something of intrinsic,
Rather than
and
another. Yeah.
exactly, and you stand for stealing money from the poor, right? That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I like that. I like that interpretation. That's good. Um, I turn in the direction of the sun and keep walking. It's the heart that asks the question, not my furious mind, which is great. I like that line because
Yeah.
um, your mind can turn, like we said earlier, the a person can be ignored. Not every conflict is worth engaging with, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't engage your heart in that discussion, your mind naturally goes, okay, this thing is bothering me. Let me engage with it. Yeah, being more rational than uh wise about the situation. If that makes
Yeah, because most of the time you can ignore the person, but you cannot ignore a system that
no.
is negative. So
Mm,
it turns to be your enemy at
mm,
the end.
mm.
Because it's something that you have to deal with constantly.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Like in the Second World War, if the problem was just one person, so the tip of the iceberg, like Hitler,
Mm,
you just had to kill this guy, but it was a system, the
exactly.
Nazi system.
Yes,
So
yes,
that was the enemy, not just the tip of the iceberg.
absolutely, absolutely. Because, like we say about Trump, we go, okay, Trump can be kicked out of office, but American and I'll say world society has been corrupted to sort of such a point that we can't even agree on what the truth is. Right.
Yeah, that's it.
So the enemy is false information or gravitation towards falsehood, right? Or corruption of ideals, of
Correct.
transcendent ideals. Exactly. So, um, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the heart is the smaller cousin of the sun. I think that's probably my favorite. This part is my favorite because it sees and knows everything. Because the heart is almost like the eye. It's almost like the soul in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the sun, obviously, like once it shines, it kind of sees and knows everything. It touches everything, basically. Um, and the heart reflects that because it's almost like you can look at someone and the person can smile at you, but the heart could be saying something entirely different.
Yeah,
So you,
yeah,
you look to the heart of a person. Does this person have a good
sure.
heart? Does this person have a bad heart? Right. So the heart has this characteristic that makes it very, um, yeah, very powerful and very, I guess,
Pure.
yeah,
Pure.
yeah, pure. Exactly. Like you can't taint the heart, good or bad, right? So if the heart is pure, and if you look into the heart, you're going to see the truth, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so the heart hears the gnashing even as it hears the blessing. The door to the mind should only be open from the heart. So it's almost like you've got to look at your heart or look into your heart and go, okay, what am I really dealing with? So it's almost like you got to operate from a point of view that's in depth and meaningful and well thought through in order to be able to engage properly. Because, like you said earlier, I'm asking the question from my heart, not my frivolous mind, because my mind can
Yeah.
go in different directions, but the heart knows the truth, right? Um,
Correct.
yeah. An enemy
Yeah.
who gets in risks the danger of becoming a friend.
Yeah, correct. Also, there are chances where you think something bad about a person, and then it turns into your friend.
Yeah.
It depends on the engagement level that you are deciding to have.
Yeah.
It's all your decision. Then, of course, there are also other situations like interests, corruption. If
Mm.
there is your enemy that you don't believe in anything that is saying or doing, and then he's coming with a box of money, and you become millionaire, you are going to cheat on your heart also. Some people's, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the way she's talking, like heart, the door of the mind, it's you cheat also your heart, and so many people in this world they proved to do it,
Yeah.
for interest, money.
So sort of compromise, basically.
Yeah, they have a price. Those people.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess in this particular approach, the enemy is I guess an individual because you can't. It's an individual, but it's also um
I
uh
give you another cut. And what
yeah, go on.
about if you are your enemy? You
Yeah,
could
absolutely.
be, huh?
No, absolutely. I think it's very clever because, like you said, the enemy could be yourself. The enemy could be
Ah,
another person.
absolutely.
The enemy could be a system of belief, right?
Sure.
I think in the final line, what she says, the enemy could risk becoming a friend. That has multiple meanings because, or multiple perspectives, because if you're dealing with another human being and you engage with that human being, then you can potentially become a friend or become
Yeah,
friends.
of course.
If you engage with a bad set of ideologies or you engage in sin or corruption, then you could almost say that you can become a friend to that thing if you open your heart to it.
Yeah, correct. Like most
Yeah.
of the people, the hackers.
Yeah.
Hackers.
Yeah.
Most of them, they are in the future they get hired by antivirus companies.
Yes.
So it's like going with your enemy from the past.
Yeah. Turning a negative to a positive.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah. I
because
think
they
I.
already explored the world of the negative world. In order to do before they were doing damages on the other people, data systems, laptops or whatever. Now they are fighting against the role that they had in the past.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Um. So you also said that the enemy could be yourself, which is very true.
Oh, sure.
I think that's probably your greatest enemy, your greatest opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
am
Because
my worst enemy for sure.
exactly,
Even now,
same,
every day, every day.
every day.
You have to
Because
fight with yourself because every time you have to decide for something in your life, there is a debate within yourself.
yep,
Yeah, there is always a debate. So at some point, you can also hate yourself and consider yourself an enemy for
hmm
for the bad decision that you took before that
absolutely.
went wrong, basically.
Yeah, and also when you fall short, when you're called to be brave, or where you're called to stand up for what is right, and you don't. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We do it all
But
the time.
even when you are committing something that you don't like, let me tell you better. Regrets.
Mm,
Regrets. Every time you have a regret, you are your enemy
mm,
because you are regretting something from the past that you
mm.
did,
Right.
and you do it. You want to do it different,
Mm,
but there is no turning back. So you think as yourself as an enemy in
mm.
that specific moment.
Yeah. I do believe that within us lies our greatest enemy, but also our greatest opportunity to transcend our shortcomings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So I love the way it starts. It goes, and whom do I call my enemy? Which is a good question. Is it your annoying boss, or your annoying colleagues, or the racist guy at the grocery store? Who do you call your enemy, right? I
Yeah,
mean, but like I said, I think your greatest enemy is probably yourself, and that's the only one really worth engaging with. You can't really change anyone. You can compromise and be diplomatic with
yeah. Always
those
a
around you.
compromising,
Ex-
even if with the closest people to you.
yeah,
With
exactly.
yourself, there is no compromise.
No,
Or
but
if there is a compromise at a long distance, you lose your brain because you cannot live properly like that.
yes, you lose your heart. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, okay. I like this. So it's by Joy Harjo,
yeah,
and I think a lot of the imagery that she creates, she talks about the sun. She talks about obviously the enemy, which I guess were those who came to America to, well, murdered Native Americans, basically genocide of Native Americans. So that's an enemy. That's a clear enemy, someone who's out there to destroy you, right? And
yeah,
uncompromisingly. Um, there's also the imagery of uh nation of hearing the nation, nation almost like suffering and blessing, the imagery of the heart and the sun, like I said before. Engagement, of course, because I guess the Native Americans and you know, those who came to occupy America, uh, they engaged on some level, but of course, ultimately, the Native Americans were destroyed. Basically, the only few remnants of them left.
oh yeah,
So, so I can see that this poem is coming from a really really deep place, and it's not an accidental bit of writing at all. Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's great.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It gets an A in my class. It
Hmm.
gets an A in my class. Definitely, it's definitely better than
A plus in
Yeah,
mine.
I'll say A plus. A plus, absolutely.
A
Um,
plus because it's so real, you know.
I just love the way it's written. I haven't seen it.
Also, yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what caught my attention actually, and the imagery is so simple but so effective as well.
yeah,
And it's not bullshit. It's not filled with stuff that he doesn't need. She's not saying too much. She's just saying the right amount of stuff. So
yeah.
well done to her.
Good one, man.
I
Good
like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah. So let's see your comments, people. Let us know what you think about this poem.
exactly.
And see you on the next episode, my friend. My friend. Like the Arabs, my friend. See you
Uh,
in the next episode, my friend.
my friend.
My friend.
That's bloody racist, but it's funny. So
My friend.
yeah, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well, and YouTube, and subscribe to the podcast as well on Apple, Spotify, Google, blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else?
Send us some food at home, and perfect, guys.
Yeah, please donate to the charity of Tola and Filippo.
Yeah.
so we can do this full time.
We can open the door for your money for sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the more the better.
All the time. Yeah.